I got started, and that was the biggest struggle on me. Very far. Never do it. But I'm trying. I'm nowhere near Thank God for this great game.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Grace Coffee House. And we have a special day and tomorrow highlighting the lay leaders. I just wanted to say that first we have a message from Pastor Bill and Pastor Kathy, and if we can cue that up, please.
We are very excited to share important news with all of you. Kathy and I have shared a comments today, and we've been notified that our child in his direct position is filled with person accepted position. We allow Kathy to introduce that.
We are so excited to introduce to you Karen Ross and her family Andy, and they have 3 children, and we are so excited. Oh, what is that?
Congratulations, church. We have a children is correct. God bless.
Yes.
If we stand for our first song. Song has some lyrics and the chorus. It says, I am a flower quickly fading. It's a message for an old guy like me that says, hey, calm down the line, you're about done here. A wave tossed in the ocean, a vapor in the wind. Still you hear, God hears me when I'm calling. And he's saying that I'm valuable. When I accept the Lord and the Holy Spirit into my life, he's working with me, and he's knocking on the door, and he's looking for ways to challenge me and let go of myself and care about and love my neighbor and get out there. And I've seen people like my buddy Paul down there. He is the greatest evangelizer. I'll walk into a convenience store and he's there. Hey, come on out to the service. And we got a coffee house service or Celebrate Recovery service. And that's his talent. I mean, that's what God has gifted him. He's got the gift of gab. And we love him for it. But, everybody's got value. Everybody's got something to give. And if we get over that fear also is talked about in this song, Who Am I? It says, whom shall I fear? Whom shall I fear? And there's nobody to fear. We got God on our side. He is our strength. And so let's just get into this. Thank you, Jesus.
Let the Lord of all the earth care to know my name, care to feel my hurt. Who am I? Let the bright and morning star choose to light the way for my ever-wandering heart.
every last drop of rain in the great storm of life. You see each one of us, you know each one of us, you care so deeply about every one of us. There's nothing we can do to earn that. There's nothing we have done to deserve that. It is just as it is because you desire to love us, to be with us, to unite with us, to reunite with us. And that's why you sent your Son to save us. Help us to know that what we do on this earth is not as important as the things that we build up in heaven. That carving our name on this world is not important as making our mark in the life to come. Help us to look for opportunities to make that mark. Here, now, and always. For we ask all this in Christ's name. Amen.
I would like to read to you from 1 Peter 4:10. Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others as faithful servants and stewards of God's grace in its various forms. Amen.
We can hear you.
Can you hear me? Is that good? It's okay? I'm Joe McCombie, and I'm one of the new lay leader, part of the lay leader team, and there are 4 others. Donna Oberdorf, right here, she's the leader of the lay leader. And Kathy Jennings.
Good.
Marion Henry, Deborah. Let us bow in a moment of prayer, please. Our Father and our God, we thank you for this group of leaders. Help your word through the church and all about this land. Be with each and every one of them, that others will see your face in them. Help us this evening to spread the word. For it's in your name that we pray. Amen. And so I wanted to share a little bit of my piece of grace. My wife and I were married here 31 years ago. It'll be in September. And we had 4 children in the meantime. And been involved in a lot of mission work with Larry Gatlis. I think there's a few others here that have gone on mission trips with us, and I think back, well, probably 25 years ago or so, I can remember David Marshall. I went with him as a youth with Lori Moore and the late Jeannie Fox. Okay. And what a great time we had. And we still have, going to Chattanooga, going to Mexico with the college group, and a few others that are out of college. But no, when I think over there now, it's really, no, we really, Grace has been, I just mentioned with Larry Callis a minute ago, but we've been here through thick and thin. And I can't imagine it any other way. It just, I know myself, different places that I've been, and not only, well, just in the area even, I've had people remark to me and say about, when I said about I was retired, and they said, oh, I'd love to, I can hardly wait till I retire, but I don't know what I'm going to do. And my first reaction is to them, just look around, and you have neighbors within a stone's throw of your house that could use an hour, a day, or even in a week. And you know who would win? You would. And they just don't know some other. Well, the bottom line is, we're not here as we're here as a team for everyone to work together. And I know these other people are going to share what they have with the different groups, whether it be prayer groups, whether it be mission groups, and the like. And there's something for everyone. All you have to do is put your hand up and somebody will grab it for you. Okay, thank you.
Good evening. When the pastors asked us to speak about a personal connection with Grace, I started to think, what does Grace Church really mean to me? As we know, a church is more than a beautiful building and beautiful windows. A church is the people. When I think about that, it takes me back a few years to when I was a sophomore at IUP. Okay, it was maybe more than a few years ago. But I still treasure the memories of spending time with friends in the dorm on Saturday nights. Those same friends invited me to walk across campus with them to Grace Church on Sunday mornings. I loved hearing Reverend Ferd Park's booming voice being so passionate in his preaching, then being so tender and calm when he would make a point. Mrs. Park was wonderful too. She opened their home to us on Sunday evenings, and college kids would pack their living rooms. We would even sit on the steps leading to their upstairs. The Bible study and her cookies were both so appreciated, and God's love that we felt from them and their care was just so evident. Grace Church meant welcome to a group of young people who were away from their home and their home church. I met my husband during my college years as we counseled together at a Christian outreach summer camp sponsored by New Day Incorporated in Johnstown. We were married in a Brethren church and preferred the smaller sized congregation. We attended the Brethren church here, but Grace Church and its caring people continued to touch our lives. Grace Church has also meant compassion. When our son Ross was born, he weighed about 4 pounds and was thought to have had a rare terminal disease. It was devastating news and took a lot of medical tests to either prove or rule out. As I sat late one evening in a deserted dark hospital waiting room to have yet more blood drawn from my tiny baby, in walked a couple of angels. Grace and Jack Bennett knew as soon as they saw me that something was terribly wrong. They listened as I told them my news, and then they stayed with me, ignoring their own reasons for being at the hospital that night. Jack carried the car seat to the parking lot when we were done, and they hugged me, told me that they would pray for me and my family, and waved as I drove away. I only knew Grace as a fellow teacher at that time, but the love and the compassion of Jesus that she and Jack shared with me that night made a very lasting impression. Our son did not have the disease, praise God, and Grace became one of his teachers in 4th grade. Grace Church has meant fellowship. And as any mother here will tell you, Christian fellowship for our children is a priority. Our daughter came to Christian Play Day and had a wonderful time learning Bible songs, stories, and learning God's Word. Both our son and daughter came to VBS here at Grace and have fond memories of their friends and teachers. Grace Church has meant education and ministry. When we made the decision to attend Grace Church regularly, we found opportunities and encouragement to become involved. The women's Bible study that I attended helped me to learn and grow spiritually, and I met wonderfully faithful, strong Christian friends, too many to name. It was a time when I needed to be a student and study God's Word and hear of His promises. Peggy Kane and Julie Angel will always be dear to me for their teaching and their ministry in my life. So when I think about Grace Church and what it means to me, it means seeing and feeling God's love through its generous, faithful, Spirit-led, dear people. Whether it was Ferd Park's giant, gentle ways, Grace and Jack's compassion, Pastor Kathy's joyous laugh, the Currys inviting us to join their small group, or teachers pointing little lives towards Jesus, Grace Church has meant so much. The contagious example here has led me to want to be part of the people of Grace, so that in turn I can help others to feel what Grace Church has felt for me. It has been a privilege to be a VBS teacher and homework helper, pointing those little lives to Jesus. It has been an honor for my husband and I to lead a small group, although they lead and minister to us just as much, and I suppose that's the way it should be. The loving friendship we have with the people in our group means more to us than they'll ever know. We have been involved in the Y Church plant, and now we attend the KCAC service. Reaching others in the unchurched is a priority to us, as God has laid that upon our hearts. Grace Church has been a lot, for a lot of years, and a lot of reasons. It is still a beautiful building with beautiful windows, but the beautiful people who have shared God's love, that is Grace Church to me. So thank you to all of you, the dear people of Grace, who've meant and mean a lot to our family. Today, the lay leaders have invited speakers from our congregation to tell us about some of the opportunities that may serve you and your family, and also allow you to serve others here at Grace. Would you please welcome them?
Hello folks, I'm Marion Henry and I want to share with you, I belong to one of the small groups, a Bible study, and I have thought for years about joining the Bible study, but when I was teaching, the daytime was impossible, and every semester I taught at least one class in the evening, sometimes 2 evenings. That was one good excuse. Another excuse, and I hope I don't step on any toes, I'm not real crazy about organizations and women's groups because women are different folks. You know, and we can be real catty. Women can be real catty. And every organization that I ever had much association with, the people that attend fall into about 3 categories. You have 5 people that do all the work. You have 5 people that take all the credit. And some of that 5 didn't do any work, but they still take the credit. And the rest of the people pay their dues and complain. So that's one reason I have never really been a big joiner of groups, especially groups of women. And I've never belonged to a men's group, so I don't know what y'all do. Anyway, after I retired, I started to give it a lot of thought. And I thought I should join a Bible study. And my dear friend, Dolly Corey, encouraged me. She said, Marion, she says, I belong to a Bible study, and this is not what you're talking about at all. And she did. She encouraged me. And I've been with Dolly for almost 50 years. She said, our group is not like that. We get together and study God's Word. We pray for family needs, individual needs, the needs of the church and our community. It's really a wonderful time of study, devotion, and fellowship. So I thought, well, if Dolly likes it, I probably will too, so I'm going to give it a try. So she invited me to the morning group that meets at Debbie Rickard's house. And what I found was not what I expected. I found was a group of Christian women who get together to study the Bible and seek the guidance of the Lord in their daily lives. And I'm really glad that I am a part of that group because I've been warmly accepted with Christian love and fellowship that I have never known before. Flip over here. And our group is called the Seekers, and because we seek the Lord's Word and guidance not only on Wednesday morning but throughout the week. All of the text that we study is approved by the church. Right now, everything that we have studied has been written by John MacArthur, and we have 2 group leaders, and they have been trained, and everything that we study follows Methodist doctrine. So we do have guides in what we're doing. We're learning the Bible to study, and it's reinforced in the Sunday morning sermons, and that's something that I really like, because sometimes what we're studying on Wednesday morning goes right along with the Sunday service. And I like knowing the history of that, of what's going to happen before or what happens afterwards. And what I have learned from this is I need to grow in my Christian study. I need to be more consistent. and not put off prayer and devotion for other activities. I suppose one of the most important things that I have learned is that God uses ordinary people to help us in our daily life, and He has certainly used 10 or 12 ordinary women to help me in my Christian life. And I thank the good Lord for them every day, and I grow weekly. Things that I used to put off, I don't put off devotion anymore, and I don't put off prayer anymore, and I've learned to say no to some things. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sue Stitt, and I'm going to speak to you about the Saturday morning prayer fellowship. Ephesians 6:18 tells us, "And pray in the Spirit on all occasions with all kinds of prayers and requests. With this in mind, be alert and always keep on praying for the Lord's people." In the late 1970s, longtime Grace member Stanley Gore, with the support of Reverend Ferd Park, felt called to begin the Saturday morning men's prayer fellowship. With about 8 men attending regularly, they prayed for and sent cards to members who experienced health concerns, family deaths, and many other personal issues. When Pastor Linda Chambers arrived at Grace, she and Jane Jacoby broke the gender barrier and became regular members. And this was a good thing, because currently there is 1 man, Larry Catless, and 4 women who attend faithfully. Perhaps you received a wheat care card like this from a group. You can raise your hand if you've ever received a card like this. The group originally met in the upper room back there at the main church, but several years ago we moved to the Grace Ministries building across the street. We come together at 7:45 every Saturday morning for coffee and cereal, so it's not like a big fancy breakfast, and devotions, and then we have a list to pray for people when we sign the cards. And all requests are welcome simply by filling out a view card or contacting the church office. If you want us to mail a card, you need to give an address. Our group has really dwindled in recent years, and we'll be losing one of our devoted members, Carol Tanweer, sometime this summer when she moves out of the area. So if you have a heart for prayer and a desire to fellowship regularly with other believers, you're welcome to join us. You can either see Larry, Carol Tanweer, Olga Silo, Jan Woodard, or me if you'd like more information. It's just a really great way to start your weekend on Saturday morning. You're done by usually 9 o'clock. In the summer it's great because then you can just walk over to the farmer's market and just have a lovely little morning. And we would just really like for you to consider joining us. And Mary Ellen would like me to mention there's another prayer opportunity for women on Monday evenings at 5 o'clock here at the church. And I had another visual that I meant to show you. This is a plaque that used to hang in the upper room, and it has, it says, Men's Prayer Fellowship, Grace United Methodist Church, our heavenly connections, and these are people that have passed on that were regular members, and now we have it displayed in the Grace Ministries building. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Julie Reed, and I'll be talking to you guys about Stephen Ministry. We have a quick video that we want to show you, so we can cue that up. That'd be great.
Frequently, friends will ask, "I know you're involved in Stephen Ministry. Can you tell me exactly what a Stephen Minister is?" Well, I like to explain that Stephen Ministers are after people. After the divorce papers have been served and the bottom falls out of your life. After you've arrived home following the funeral service and the emotions you've held at bay come crashing in on you. After the relationship has ended, but the wounds are still bleeding and painful. After you find the pink slip inserted with what is now your final paycheck. After the doctors have said, There's nothing more we can do. After the door has slammed shut for the very last time. After your family and friends have heard your story one too many times, but you still need to talk it out. After the nursing home director shakes your hand and says, "Welcome to your new home." After the phone call you'd always hoped you'd never get. Stephen Ministers are the after people. We are ready to come alongside you or your friends, neighbors, co-workers, or relatives and provide comfort and support for as long after as we are needed.
Okay, so Galatians 6 verse 2 says, "Bear one another's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ." This is what Jesus commands us to do. Stephen Ministry is a one-to-one lay caring ministry that takes place in congregations that use the Stephen Ministry series. Stephen Ministry congregations have been equipped and empowered as lay caregivers to provide high-quality and confidential Christ-centered care to people who are hurting. Stephen Ministry began in 1975 when Dr. Kenneth C. Hulk, a pastor and clinical psychologist in St. Louis, Missouri, trained parishioners to help meet the needs for the care in the congregation. The ministry was so successful that one of the other congregations became interested, and Hulk founded Stephen Ministries organization. Since then, more than 12,000 congregations have been involved with Stephen Ministry. They represent over 170 Christian denominations and come from all 50 states, 10 Canadian provinces, and 29 other countries. Stephen Ministry was given to Grace as an effective way to train and organize members to provide one-on-one Christian caregiving to individuals who struggle with life crises since 2004. Since then, we have had 11 trained Stephen leaders and 38 trained Stephen ministers. Currently, to this day, 75 people have received care in the one-on-one relationship. Right now, we have 8 active Stephen ministers, and 3 of us are leaders. Stephen ministers are congregation members trained by Stephen leaders to offer high-quality, one-to-one Christian care to people who are going through tough times. A Stephen minister provides care to one person at a time, meeting with that person approximately 1 hour every week. Twice a month, then the Stephen ministers gather with their Stephen leaders for peer supervision and continuing education. If you're interested in learning more about Stephen Ministry, there are brochures like this in the Welcome Center. You can also contact Kathy Mahork directly at the church office. Right now, the leaders for Stephen Ministry are myself, Arlene Miller, and Ruthie Wallace. And we just wanted to give a shout out that our goal is to have another training class in the fall once we talk to Pastor Bill and get a schedule set. So if it's something that you think you'd be interested in learning more about, we would be more than happy to have you. Thank you.
I'm Larry Catalyst, and I'm here to talk about my missions experience. That actually first began back in 1980. Paul Botsford, whom some of you may know, showed slides at a group called Mariners, which was a couples group here at Grace Church. And immediately following his presentation about having taken a mission trip to Haiti, I walked up to Paul and I said, I'd like to do that sometime. About 6 months later, I got a call from him saying that we're going to be taking a team to Haiti in August, and if you'd like to go, there's a position available. Now, Andy had a couple of hurdles. I had just started a new business. I didn't have any money, and I had mononucleosis. Other than that, things were fine. But I decided to proceed with getting ready to go, and work took care of all of those things. I went back in 1981 and in 1982 and took my wife Faye with me on one of those trips. It's not possible to put into words the kind of poverty that you see there. But I was hooked on missions at that point, and have continued to be involved ever since then here at Grace Church. And it's enabled me to build some really good relationships. When you get in a van and drive 12 hours somewhere, you get to know people really well. And I would encourage you, all of you to try to experience that at some point. I wanted to call your attention to the bulletins that are on the table, because within them is a missions brochure. Missions doesn't happen haphazardly. It doesn't happen without the involvement of a lot of people. I read an article some time ago that talked about 3 different types of people that have a part in missions. There are the prayers, the players, and the payers. The prayers often are people who say, I can't physically do that work anymore, but I'll pray for you. The players are the people who get out there and actually do the physical work. And then you have the payers, the people who write checks to support missions. And as you can see, if you take a look at this brochure, our goal this year is to raise $71,000 to support our missions projects. It's an ambitious budget, but we've been able to do that kind of thing in the past. Some of us actually fit into all 3 categories. We pray, we're part of the team, we pay. Not everybody can do that, but I've been blessed to be able to do those kinds of things. And I just wanted to call to your attention also a missions opportunity that's on the back page of the bulletin. Next Saturday, we're going to take a team down to Connellsville for a day to work with flood victims. Back in August of last year, Connellsville had a severe flood. There were approximately 200 homes that were damaged and over $7 million worth of damage. And we're not going to be able to do a lot in a day, but we can change somebody's life and at least get them on the road to recovery. We may send a larger team back for a longer period of time. We're going to use this as kind of an exploratory mission and just see what's going on there. So if you're interested in being part of the team, I'd like to take 20 or 25 people. If we can, my contact information is on the back of the bulletin. Please give me a call. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mary Helen Taylor, and I'm here to speak about Women's Evening Fellowship. And its name is exactly what it is. It's a group of women who meet in the evening. We meet on the second Tuesday from September through December, and then from February through June. We meet at 7 o'clock down in the parlors. And we have fellowship. And I want to tell you how I got involved. My son and his family came back to live with me and my husband, and while they were renovating the house they were going to move into. And they had a 2-year-old. And so my world changed. And I didn't realize how narrow it changed from watching a 2-year-old while they worked and they renovated on the house and doing their regular stuff. I had just become isolated. And I had retired from teaching, and my teacher friends, we'd stopped going to lunch together, and my neighbors were just doing their own things. And so I saw Women's Fellowship in the bulletin, and I said, I'm going to go. I need to go. I need to do something. So I went one night. And I was sitting there, and I just felt this sense of release or enjoyment, or this is what's been missing from your life. You stop doing what women do. Come together. Whether it be at the oven where they bake their bread, or when they went to the well, or whatever they did in olden times. Today we don't really have those kind of things, so we come. Women's Fellowship provides that, and it provided it for me. It was I just can't tell you that kind of release or joy, I guess is another word for it, that I got that night. And I said, well, I'll be back and everything. So I've been back on numerous occasions. And we've done a lot of things. We do service projects. We've done Samaritan's Purse. We've collected for the Alice Paul House, for Family Promise. We've done projects. We've sent cards to shut-ins. We've made a quilt for the police here in town and cut out squares so we could make another one. We make those no-sew quilts so Loretta can take them down when they go to their mission trip to Tennessee in March. We play games. We're really good at trivia. Nobody knows any answers, but we laugh. And one night we actually put love story movies on our backs, and you had to guess which one we were and everything. So that was a good way of meeting people and realizing that some people like the same movies you do and some people have never heard of them, which surprised me. And that we make things. My bracelet, Suzanne Barkley one night showed us how to make jewelry, which is exciting. We've even ventured out of the church, and we went down to the KCAC and saw the church basement ladies play that was here last November. That was wonderful. We laughed and laughed and laughed. We have things planned. We've also hosted other activities. We had Mrs. Noah here one night, and she spoke to us about her adventures. And we hope to have her back in a different capacity as Mrs. Someone else or another lady. We also, I have a friend who goes to culinary school, and she'll be coming to IDP in the fall. And so I was at one of her events, the lady was talking about how she had some of the culinary students come to her church and do a program. And bells go off in your head and you say, oh, yay. That's something we can do. I'd also like to have a movie night. I came up here with my granddaughter to see a movie, and I thought, a lot of women can't get to the movies, or they don't want to go by themselves, or it's too expensive. And I'm thinking, wow, maybe we should host a movie some night, a movie that women would be interested in. So there won't be any Tom Cruise or shoot 'em up kind of things. But so I thought, I love the movies and I just don't go anymore. So I thought that might be fun. So we're always trying to think of different projects, different things to do. If you have any projects, please let us know. If you have any ideas about things to do, please let us know. You can contact me. I'm Mary Helen Taylor. As Pastor Bill told me, there's another Mary Taylor that goes to this church. And I said, yes, I do. I happened to work with her for about 10 years, so I'm well acquainted with her. And or Sue Stitt, who was the founder of this group. And we begin all of our meetings with a devotion and prayer, and it's just a wonderful time. The other thing that I want to mention is we always have something to eat. We are ladies, and it's a great way to try out a recipe. If you have a recipe and you want to try it out on people, we're great guinea pigs. I once took them root beer cake, which actually isn't bad, And we're willing, we'll try anything. But we do what women do. We talk. We do something with our hands. We eat, which is very important. And we talk. We talk about our concerns, our families, what's going on with us. Are you, how's your mom and dad? When you reach a certain age, how's your mom and dad is a big question that we get asked a lot. I wish somebody was still asking that of me. But, or how's your grandchildren? Which I'm getting a new one in July, so I'm excited about that. Or, did you go on a trip? Have you read a good book? What's going on with you? And that. So that's what Women's Evening Fellowship is. It's women coming together, being women, talking, eating, and doing something. And that. So if your social life has become a little narrow, come join us. We'll expand it. Thank you.
I'm sorry. Can I return cake, please? Sure, yes.
I want the cake, please. I want us for anything else.
It's not okay when we can afford it.
Last time you said that.
You don't want this? I'll take it back. Hey, look, this is for you.
No, we cannot accept it.
Would you please?
There's no reason for you to buy the cake for us.
Well, when I was 7, my mother wanted to buy me a cake.
Mommy, I want to sign.
By the doctor, he didn't have enough.
Can we get something else?
It's my birthday today. Can I choose my own cake, please?
I'm sorry.
Then, there's this man. I've never met him before.
Here, have the cake. Happy birthday.
I didn't know his name. I never got a chance to say thank you. I've never forgotten about him. The man in the queue.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Can I have your contact number? Let me repay you when we have the money.
Promise me something, okay? Someday, when you're able to help somebody, you will do it.
May I know your name, mister?
Well, I'm the man in the queue.
is my favorite. Thank you.
Let's go and put something on.
Oh. I think you shouldn't have spent the money.
Actually, I came and paid for it.
Give me this note.
Please write down your address. I'll bring the money back to you later.
Simple act of caring creates an endless ripple.
That comes back to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Okay, folks, let's give all of our speakers a hand. Perhaps you are wondering what we're all about and what all of these organizations do and what all of these people at Grace do. We're here to help you in times of need. And I want to draw your attention to Ecclesiastes chapter 3. That to everything there's a season and a time to every purpose under the heavens, a time to plant, a time to reap. Perhaps right now you are in a state where you might need help from Grace Church, and we encourage you to reach out to Grace because we are certainly here to help you and want to help you, encourage you to think about us because most of us have been in situations at some time in our life where we needed help. And I think it's very comforting to know that you're with people that understand your needs and care about not only your physical needs, your emotional needs, and your monetary needs, but we also care about your soul. And so be reminded that you are with likewise Christians that want to work closely with you. And all of you to see this little card on your table. I want you to be looking at that while I'm talking. If you're feeling blessed right now, if you are in a period in your life where you are able to help other people or you're able to do for people, 1 Peter, as Barbara had said to us earlier, tells us God has given each of us a gift from his great variety of spiritual gifts. Use them well to serve one another. In order for the ministries of our church to work, we're going to have to work together. And what we're asking you to do, if you would please, think about what you can do for our church. And if you have a need, please write that down too. And I promise you that someone will be in contact with you to work with you if you have something that you want to work with us, if you have something you want to join, or if there's a need, please write it down. We look for your name, your phone, your address, and if you have an email, and you will be contacted, I promise you. Let me move over here. I'm skipping ahead. Debbie wrote this so beautifully for me, and I'm just running my big mouth. Okay. Remember that small acts of kindness begin to have a ripple effect. There is no way of knowing how we reach people and how many people we reach just from little acts of kindness. God can use other people in many, many ways to draw you into grace, because if you're here for the first time tonight, please come back because we would love to have you. May you have an area of service that you know that you have a calling to do. I never ever thought that I would enjoy Bible study in the way that I have, and I would encourage you, if you're not in a small group, to join one. So you're not getting out of here because we're going to collect them. I'm going to put them on the table. So everybody, please fill out one. And those of you that are here all the time, I know that there's something on here that you can help us with. So thank you so much for coming this evening.
You know, leaders, it's amazing what kind of great work these groups are doing. My wife and I were going down the road, and I had her grab my iPod, and we're just talking, she's talking. And we were thinking about the different programs that, you know, we've had seen in the past, or what new could be out there. And I think the new planning meeting that's upcoming, ideas like this are really important, but just a few here. I mean, people that know how to do home repair, you collect together, and you create a small group. All at once, you got a connection with other people that you can start showing the Lord and His face in doing home repair. Help with fear, building confidence, financial planning, doing the traditional play groups, doing a Paris night out, King's Club, parking lot ministries, and exercise group. It goes on and on. This was like, I got 30 of them here, and that was 10 minutes just going down the road, just thinking. And people just, let's come together. Let's find out what God wants us to do and where Grace wants to go. All right, can we stand? We'll do our last song, please.
At the Lord, sea and sky, I have heard my people cry. All who dwell in darkness sing, my hand will sing. I will make the stars of night, I will make their darkness bright. Who will bear my light to them? Whom shall I send? And here I am, Lord, and easy I know. I have heard you calling me.
receive this blessing. As you go from here, remember to love, for love is what God asks of us. It is the very heart and soul of what it means to follow Jesus Christ. So go from here to love and serve God by loving and serving those you meet. And may God, who loved us first and who showed us what real love looks like, be with you and among you wherever you find yourself in the coming week. Amen.
They just need some body medicine and start